All right, Nico Horning here with Monday Night Football voice of ESPN, Joe Buck, at the American Century Championship. Before we get into any broadcast announcing stuff, back here in Tahoe for another week, and maybe not your best day that you just told me off the air right off the bat, but you spent a lot of time on the range here at Edgewood. How was the first day?
First day was fun. You have to kind of have normal expectations, I think. And tournament golf is so different. And I know everybody says it, but, I can't tell you the last time I putted a 2-footer. If I'm playing with friends that make me putt a 2-footer, I'll never play with them again. And then you come out here and it's like they're fast, and then you leave the blade open a little bit and it lips out. You just want to just throw your putter into the lake. But that said, it was a fun day. Tomorrow will be better. That's what I'm going to go to sleep telling myself, and we'll see if that's the case.
All right, well, it just came out that you're going to be filling in for a couple of shows for Good Morning America on ABC with Malika Andrews doing it as well. At this point in your career, everyone, you can do whatever sport you want. You've been there, done that. You have that experience. What's maybe the next step as far as trying something a little different or having that sort of personality now in the world of broadcasting?
Yeah, I think that's kind of always the challenge, is to do something that's a little bit different and outside of your comfort zone. I think the best thing in this case, when I do that at ABC on Good Morning America, is I'm not doing it hoping to get the job. Like I can just go kind of have fun and be myself and go from there. And if I make a mistake, laugh at it, or if I misspeak with how they get on and off the air with Good Morning America, so be it. I think the best thing you can do in life, let alone broadcasting, is to be able to laugh at yourself if you make a mistake. And I think that gets the audience on your side. So I'm just going into it ready to have fun. I will feel a lot more comfortable sitting at that desk than I will with a driver in my hands tomorrow. I promise you that.
Well, you got the style and you know what you bring to the table, obviously, at this point in your career when it comes to broadcasting. And your job is not to make it about yourself. You're telling the athletes stories and all of that when it comes to games. But at this point, what do you maybe want people to know about Joe Buck? What are you trying to do to get that mission accomplished, to get that goal across to the audience when it comes to watching a big Monday Night Football game?
Yeah, I think the best thing I can try to do is not get in the way. The games are good enough. I mean, the easiest ones to do are 28 to 27. The ones that you have to work are 35 to 3. And I think that's kind of where you take it over a little bit and you kind of show off how much homework you've done, or you try to get a little funny, or you try to, rib your partner a little bit. But the good games, it's almost like see it, say it, and get out of the way. And, that's how I want to listen to it at home. So if that means anything, and that's not for everybody, and I'm sure there are people that would say, oh, you need to talk more, or you need to, it's that insecure voice in your head that says, well, I need to talk here, because if I don't talk, people are going to think I don't know what to say. And I don't think anybody at home ever watches an event like that. They want to enjoy it. And I think adding to the enjoyment instead of taking away from it is kind of my ultimate goal.
Sure. A couple of West Coast questions real quick, since we're obviously on this side of the country. Any stadiums, this could be across any sport, that you really favor calling a game from, or that you've been to, whether it's up in Washington or down in Arizona, that you really enjoy?
It's to the point now where all of these stadiums are so good. I mean, SoFi is outstanding, and that's where our Super Bowl is next year. So that's exciting, because the booth, a good booth helps you call a better game, because you can see it if it's a good angle, if it's a good kind of vantage point where you don't feel like you're too high, or in the case of Chicago at Soldier Field, you're really low. So that helps. Seattle's great because there's always crowd noise. Levi's is great. I mean, there aren't many stadiums. I said to somebody the other day, our first Super Bowl was in Jacksonville, and we went to the booth the day before the Super Bowl. We'd never been in the booth before, and it was so high up that it was intimidating, like going to bed going, I hope I can see the game when I'm calling it for 100 million people. They've since made it better. There really are no stadiums that stand out where you go, oh my God, I have to go call this game. Old Tampa Bay Stadium was like that Berman called the sombrero. You were sitting on the top rim of that thing. But for the most part, I mean, these booths in these stadiums are so good that the NFL makes them be that good that I don't have any complaints about any of them.
And then when you talk about some of the calls that you've had in the past, it could be Travis Ishikawa's call in San Francisco. I know a lot of Giants fans talk about that here at the tournament. Anything that sticks out to you that you were like, wow, that was really fun, or I met the moment that you really enjoyed here on the West Coast?
Yeah, that's one that jumps out. Like, I walk around, people are like, why do you hate the Giants? You need to love the Giants. I said, listen to the Travis Ishikawa home run and let me know if it sounds like the guy who called it is somehow rooting against the Giants. It's just kind of the local, national tug of war that you get into because I'm not there for one side of the audience, and they're not really used to that, especially in baseball. It's gotten a little bit better since I don't do baseball anymore, that all the NFL stuff is national, so they're used to hearing us call their games. But yeah, I think that's the one that stands out baseball-wise. There was a great Matt Stairs home run at Dodger Stadium, Phillies-Dodgers NLCS that I liked. There aren't many that when I hear I get sick to my stomach about. But yeah, the kind of those ones where you meet the moment, you get in, you get out, and you let the crowd go crazy, like the Minneapolis Miracle. Like that's probably my best call I think I ever had because the moment was so incredible and it just was raw emotion. So that's the one that's probably number one in my book.
Couldn't predict that. All right, last question for you.
Yeah.
You're talking about these guys' stories, some of these guys that are at this tournament as well. Now you get to play with them, play some golf, a little bit of a relaxed atmosphere. What is that perspective like for you to come out here and just talk it up with the guys?
It's the number one reason why I'm here. And my wife, Michelle, who does the interviews on Monday Night Football, she's coming out here tonight. And it's important to get to know these guys as just, in my case, two guys hanging out playing golf. And I played today with Shane Victorino and Chase Utley, and we had a great time. And, I covered those guys. And I think sometimes there's a separation there between announcer and player, especially the national guys, because they don't really know you. You hope they can trust you, but I can understand why people don't, just because of the nature of the way things are in today's world. But I think getting out here and seeing Travis Kelce and, before in years past, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, and we've got all those guys this year. So to be able to reference, hey, how'd you play day 2 at Tahoe, and have a beer with them is I think really valuable. So it's kind of the secret number one reason to be out here for me.
All right, Joe. Well, good luck the next couple of days. Really appreciate you coming here to the American Century Championship. Thank you.
Thanks, Nico.